Hello guys, welcome to the first module of database testing. In this module, we'll be studying the importance of database testing, why it is required, why it is essential, and how will we gonna use it while creating our automation scripts through Selenium. We'll also be looking at how to download and configure MySQL server and client. We'll be creating new database, new tables, adding columns. We'll be adding data to those columns. We'll be searching for the data. We'll be dropping the table, updating where clause, and many other database transactions. We'll be looking in these modules. So we'll be covering the complete database package in these modules, so that after going through these modules, you'll have complete knowledge on database transactions and database testing. Since data is the most crucial part in any project or application, our first focus while doing the manual testing is that data displaying in the application is accurate. Otherwise, the results will be meaningless to our users. So let's take an example of a banking site like HSBC. So suppose you have deposited an amount of $10,000 in your account, and the next day when you log into the HSBC website and check for your account balance, and it shows the balance as only $10, then what will be your reaction? So the balance in your account gets stored in a database, and then application fetch that balance from the database and displays it whenever you provide your login information. So it's very compulsory that the data is stored accurately in your database, and for that, database testing is really must, and it's really important. So to work on database, we'll first see how to download and configure MySQL server and client. We'll go to google.com. We'll go to google.com, and here we'll write MySQL server download, and then we'll click on this link, dev.mysql.com/download. We'll click on this, and then under the MySQL community server, we'll click on download. So we'll download this MSI installer. So you need to check your system configuration. If it is 32-bit, then you need to download this 32-bit file. Otherwise, you need to download the 64-byte if your system supports 64-bit. So you click on this download button, and then you can download it. So these are basically servers, so you can find your nearest server and then you can download it from that server. So once the file gets downloaded, it will show like this. So it's a installable file. You just need to double click on it and it will run. So I've already installed this SQL server, MySQL server, on my system, but I'll still show you the steps that you need to follow. You need to click on next. So I have already what I'll do is I'll remove it and I'll again reinstall it to show you. So I'll click on remove. So I'll install it again so that it will be really clear to you. Close the application, and so MySQL is already opened on my system. So let me close it. So I'll click on OK. That will shut down the application. There's a service called MySQL setup. Do you wish me to stop? Yes. So it will gonna stop that service, and MySQL server is completely uninstalled. So now I'll double click on this again. I'll click on run, and I'll click on next, accept the license agreement, and I'll click on next. I'll click on the typical, and then I'll click on install. So it will take some time in processing. So once it is completely downloaded and configured, the next step is that you need to download a MySQL client, a SQL yoke client. For that, you again need to go to Google and you can write SQL yoke download. So again, this is the first link, webyoke.com download.php. You need to click on this link. You can download a 30-day trial or a full version. You click on this, you need to enter your email address, your name, you need to fill up this information, and then you will get a downloadable link. So once the SQL yoke is downloaded, it will show up like this. So this is the application, this is the executable application. You need to double click on this and it's the same way. You need to click on next and it will gonna install the MySQL yoke. So I've already installed this on my system. I'll skip this installation. So once the SQL client is installed, it will show up like this. You need to double click on this client, and so you need to click on new, then you need to give a connection name as like test connection. So over here you need to give the same password that you have given while configuring the SQL server. You need to write the password as PASSWORD and you need to click on OK. So the first thing is that you need to create a new database. So to creating a new database, you need to click on this DB menu and then you need to click on database. So you can give the database name as test database and you need to click on create. So your test database is now created. You need to select this database from here, and under this database now we're going to create a new table. So how to create a new table? For creating a new table, we simply need to write create table and then the table name. Let's suppose the table name is employee. So we need to write create table employee, and under that, so under this table employee, we need to define the columns. So what all columns are employee table holds? Let's employee table holds employee ID, EMP ID, and the second thing is employee name. Third thing is employee age, and then salary. So this employee ID column, we need to specify a data type for this employee ID. So employee ID will be int and this will be not null. So why we put this not null? Because we want that this column should not have any null values. So every time whenever there's a record being created for employee, this employee ID needs to be defined. So for the name, we'll write character. So the data type of the name will be character and it will be, let's suppose, 30 characters long. So it should not be more than 30 characters. Age will again be int and then we'll write not null, and the salary will be int. So this is how we're gonna create a new table. So these are the columns that we need to enter. Once we have written this, now we'll execute this query. For that, we need to click on this execute all queries, and it will show that the 0 rows effective. So which means that our table has been successfully created. And now how will we gonna check whether our table is created or not? We'll simply write a simple query like select star from employee. We'll select it and we'll run it. So you can see an empty table has been created with all these columns: employee ID, name, age and salary. So this is the way how we create a new table, and with the help of the select command we can select that table from the database. The same way, if we need to drop this table, we can write a command drop table employee and we'll execute it. So when we again run this select command, it will not show any table. It will show that the test database table employee does not exist. So now we'll again gonna create this table. We'll again gonna run this command. We'll see whether the table is created or not. Yes, the table is created. The next thing we're gonna do is insert some data in the table. So for that, there's a simple query. We'll write insert into employee, and then we'll write the values as the employee ID 101, employee name as name will always be in the single quotes, Tom, let's say Tom. Then the employee age is, let's suppose, 27, and the salary he is getting is $10,000. We'll select this and we'll run it. You can see one row is affected. Now when we run the command select star from employee, it will gonna display the data of the records that's been entered. So same way, we'll copy it again and we'll create another record, John, and we'll give the age as 28 and we'll give the salary as 20,000. We'll run it and it will show the record of 2 employees now. So this is how we can create a single row. What if I need to add a multiple rows? So what I can do is I can copy this command and I can add another row like this, so I can give John and then Jack, Jeff, then Harry, and then I'll give the age as 29, 25, salary will be 25, then 15, and when I execute this command, so you can see 3 rows are affected. So when we again run the query select star from employee, it will display the data of all the employees that's been entered. So this is an example, where you have seen how to create a new table employee, how to insert data into that table, how to fetch data with the help of a select query, how to add single rows, how to add multiple rows in a table. Now what if we need to alter some table and we need to add a new column in the employee table? So for that we'll write a command alter table employee, and then we'll write add, and then the new column name that we need to add, like we need to add the column email. Then we need to specify the data type of the column email, so it will accept 25 characters, and that's it. So when we execute this query, so you can see 5 rows affected. So when we again run this select star from employee, it will show the column email added. So this is how we can like add a new column to a table, and if we need to delete this column, then we can will again write alter table employee, and then we'll write drop email, and when we execute it and then again run the select star from employee, so you can see the employee column is gone. So but we'll again create this column, we'll again add this column and see some more examples on it. So what if we need to rename any column in a table? Let's suppose there is a column that says salary, and I want that this column name should be renamed to emp underscore salary, like employee salary. So for renaming any column name, we'll again write alter table employee, and then we'll write change salary, salary as in the column name salary, and then we'll give the new column name, that is emp underscore salary, and the data type of this column will be int. So we'll run it, and when we again run select star for employee, so the column name has been updated. So we have seen an example of adding a new column, deleting any column from the table, and renaming the column. What if I need to modify any data inside the table rows? So what if I need to currently the email column, it is showing null values. So what if I need to enter some values inside this column? Then I'll write update table employee, and then set email equal to like selenium coaching at gmail.com, and when I execute this query, oh, it says that there's an error. You know why there is an error? There's an error because I have specified the data type limit up to 25 characters only. So let's reduce it to some lesser character length, and when we again run it, and I have made a mistake over here, I have written table, so we should not write table, we just write update employee set email equal to, and you can see 5 rows affected. So when you again do select star from employee, so you will see the selenium at gmail.com email has been mentioned, has been added to the table employee, to all rows. All affected rows are now showing selenium at gmail.com. So now we'll see the use of where clause. So let's suppose we need to select the name of an employee whose age is, let's say, 25 years. So we'll write a query select name from employee where age equal to 25, and then we execute this query. So yes, Jack. So same way, let me show the table again. Same way, if we need to search for the employees between salary 10 to let's say 20,000, or let's say salary between 15 to 25,000, then we'll write the query as select name emp salary from employee where salary between, we'll use the between keyword here, between 15,000 and 20,000. So we'll run this query, and okay, it shows unknown column name. So because we have updated the column name as emp underscore salary, so we'll execute it again, and it will show the name of two employees where salary between 20,000 and 15,000. So same way, if we need to search for the salary for the name of the employee where salary is greater than 20,000, so we'll write it in this way. It will give the name of employee whose salary is greater than 20,000, and same way for less than 20,000, we'll write it in this way. So now I want that by mistake I have given Jeff the salary as 10,000. I want to update this data. I want to update the salary of Jeff to let's say 30,000. So what I'll write update employee set salary equal to 30,000 where name equal to Jeff, and I'll execute this query. Oh, I'm again writing it as salary, so it's emp underscore salary. So when I again do select star from employee, so you can see the salary of Jeff is now 30,000. So these are the very basic examples that you all must be knowing. So you must be knowing about where clause, how to update the data. So basically the purpose of teaching database is to get you familiar with the database testing concept that we will be using while creating our automation scripts through Selenium. So in this module we'll do only this much. In the next module I'll show you some more examples, and then we'll start creating complex queries and learn different types of joins and subqueries, and then we'll start with creating database connection to access data using Selenium scripts. So there are a lot of commands that I have taught you in this chapter. You can practice them, you can try downloading MySQL server and SQL U client and try practicing these commands. So that's all in this module. Take care of yourself. Goodbye.